Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Futures Daily Trading video. My name is Raleigh White, and I'm here to talk to you about the trades we took in our live trading room on Tuesday, November 11th, 2014. Well, looking at today's economic calendar, you can see that we had a very quiet day. As a matter of fact, there were no major news or events scheduled of any kind. We do note that today is Veterans Day in the United States, and many of the banks and government offices are closed, and we also noted that the bond and currency open outcry pits were closed as well, but all the electronic markets were open. As far as today's pre-market sentiment was concerned, things were fairly positive coming into the open. Now, the Asian markets did close mixed on falling commodity prices, and the positive sentiment that was seen from Wall Street's gains yesterday was offset by lower energy and metals pricing. Now, the best performing market in Asia was the Japanese Nikkei. It closed up 2.1% at 7-year highs, crossing the 17,000 level for the first time since 2007, largely driven by the Bank of Japan purchasing 38 billion yen's worth of ETFs as part of its stimulus program. On the flip side, though, the worst performing markets were the Chinese Shanghai market. It closed down 1/10 of a point on profit taking after that market reached three-year highs yesterday, and the Australian market was down 1/10 of a point as the mining sector was slipping on lower iron ore prices. Now, the European markets were open and trending higher on the strong U.S. market performance. So sentiment was improving across Europe after record gains on Wall Street and the Japanese Nikkei. We did see that Vodafone was leading the technology shares higher on robust third-quarter earnings and on a strong demand outlook. Focus for many European investors would be on Friday's German GDP data and whether the German economy is going to be showing signs of expansion after contracting for the past 2 quarters. As far as the U.S. is concerned, Wall Street figured to open up higher following yesterday's record gains. Now, the futures were pointing up following the global markets higher after a strong finish in the Dow and the S&P 500. We note that 80% of the companies that have reported their earnings so far have beat their earnings estimates, but only 60% have topped their sales forecast. Focus for many U.S. investors would be on the upcoming retail sales data coming out at the end of the week, third-quarter corporate earnings on what is otherwise expected to be a very slow day for economic news and events. Now, as far as our trading activity is concerned, I attempted 4 entries in the markets but had no fills, and I'll share with you some of the setups that I saw. But before doing that, I do need to remind everyone of this following important disclaimer, and that is that trading futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources, as you may lose all or more of your initial investment. And always remember that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, turning to the charts, let's begin here with the Euro FX futures market and a couple of attempts that we had here this morning. Right off the bat, you can see that we had 2 bars moving higher and 2 bars moving lower here just at the open of the U.S. trading session, and I was sitting here with a long entry at 124.23, hoping to get a bounce off the previous day's low. Well, this bar did open up, but it didn't make a move towards my entry. As a matter of fact, it moved higher through what would have been my profit target, so I had to take this trade out. And I'm glad I did, because had I left it in and been filled, I would have been knocked out as the market moved lower. Now, staying with the Euro FX futures, we can see we had 1, 2, 3 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing and a second bar retracing. So I was sitting here with a short entry at 124.36, looking for a bounce off the upper Bollinger Band going short. This bar opened up here, it moved a tick in our direction, and then moved through what would have been my profit target down here. So I had to take this trade out of the market, and I'm glad I did, because I would have been filled on the way towards my stop loss had I left the entry there. The next market I saw something in was in the crude oil market. Now, looking at crude oil, we can see after the open of the trading session, we had exactly 2 bars moving lower, followed by 2 bars retracing, and I was sitting here at 77.40 looking to get a short entry here. This bar opened up, the market moved about 5 ticks in my direction, and then fell through my profit target, so I had to take that trade out. And then lastly, that brings us to the E-mini Dow market. In this market, We can see here shortly after the open of the U.S. trading session that we had 1, 2, 3, 4 bars moving lower, followed by 2 bars retracing. I was sitting here looking at a short entry at 17,561. The market really never took a step in my direction. It moved through what would have been my profit target, and when that happened, I took the trade off, and I'm glad I did, because I would have been filled on the way to a stop loss had I left that entry in the market. So just to recap, I had 4 attempts today and no fills, and what was a very slow and sluggish day in the markets, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of opportunities might present themselves tomorrow. Well, looking at tomorrow's economic calendar, you can see that we still have another fairly quiet day. At 9 o'clock, we have wholesale inventories coming out. At 11 o'clock, we have FOMC member Contra Lakota speaking. And then at 12:01, we have the release of the results of the 10-year note auction. So things are picking up just a little bit when you consider there was nothing on the calendar on Monday or Tuesday, but still a relatively quiet day. And with that, folks, I want to thank you for watching today's daily video. I wish you a pleasant evening, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Take care and good night.